Hey everybody, SDM Kahuna back again with my wonderful, illustrious, fantabulous, is a word, trust me, just
You say so.
all round nice guy, SDM Outcastzero. How you doing, Outcast?
Not too bad, not too bad. How are you?
I am peachy, aside from some Skype technicalities,
Take
uh,
two.
and then some. It's one of these things, it's like when everything works, it's fantastic. When it doesn't, it's a right royal pain in the ass.
Damn you,
But
technology.
this would be a suitable con moment, I think you'll find.
Yeah, gone.
Yeah, I'm not going to shout into this mic at this range. That won't impress anybody.
No.
This week with the podcast, we're going to take a slightly different approach. We are not only just going to focus on Destiny. At the moment in time, we are kind of running out of things new and fresh to say with that, so we're going to move it on to a broader scope, bring you the wealth of wisdom, knowledge, experience, and just downright awesomeness that is SDM's game playing experience. So I'm going to hand the first point over to my main man, Outcast. So what have you been playing recently?
I tried Fear Online. I don't know why. I just seen an advert for it and I thought to myself, Fear Online. Okay, that sounds exciting because I love Fear.
We
Sometimes
both
the
did.
storylines were a bit messed up, But Fear's a good game. But the online game, not so much.
I think we can agree that Fear sort of had its day, and completely ironically, and this is without a joke, I'm going to drag this across from my other screen without typing anything else. I was looking at the Fear Online in Steam because it is free to play.
Oh, is it now on Steam? Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I saw the pop-up for it today because it was literally released today. However, anything that's telling me that the recommended specifications are a dual-core 2.4 gigahertz, doesn't even specify AMD or Intel, 2 gig of RAM, and a GeForce 8600 GT, I'm going to hazard a guess this one isn't exactly cutting edge.
It's even worse than the original game.
And of the 85 reviews that it's got on Steam right about now, those are all pretty much mostly negative. What did you find with it?
Well, it's that, like, obviously you write a name like Fear, you're going to expect something to be creepy, and
So.
when Fear very first came out, it was cutting edge. The AI was cutting edge, and all that sort of thing, and it was totally bringing the shooter genre into like a new era as such.
Mm-hmm.
But this Fear Online thing, it's just like, we'll give it the name Fear, and we'll leave it at that. Now, at the very start of the game, you actually get given a tutorial on how to move your character around, and it's literally like a single player map.
Do you still have like the super reflex mode and for the slow-mo gunplay and such?
Yeah, they get the super reflex mode. I only actually ever used it in that very first tutorial single player level, because it literally is just like a map from the game. You walk around and you see Alma and she's doing creepy crap and there's blood everywhere, which that was the best part out of the whole goddamn Fear Online experience, playing that very first level. And then you get kind of chucked into pay to win scenarios. You spend real money to get weapons, and because your weapons only have a certain amount of time before they run out, and blah 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 blah. But it's got stupid things like, it's not stupid, but it's got things like team deathmatch and free for all and things like that. And you're like, how is that Fear? How is that scary? That's not. And there is like a scenario where you get to hook up with like a bunch of people and you go and do like a scenario level where I'm sure there will be like.
What do we get? I know you've probably got limited experience with it at the moment, but did it hint at anything like characters with like Paxton's kind of play style? Like we did get to see that in Fear 3, where you could play as Paxton in the.
Not at the moment, anyway. It's generally just the case.
There's no control, possession, mystic power type thing.
Not that I've seen so far. It's just been a case where you've got your different like military classes as such, and you get your gear and blah. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like a team deathmatch type of thing, or like a King of the Hill type thing, it's like this isn't what you expect, from a Fear title. But like I said, there is on the other side of it where you get to play scenarios where you jump in with a group of friends And I'm sure that's probably just like, like scary ass situations that you've got to get to the end of.
Well,
Whether it be scary ass with being scary graphics or actually it's meant to be a scary kind of like game, I don't know. But I never actually managed to get into one because for some reason I was waiting about 50 minutes and I couldn't get connected to anyone.
Well, it is day release, so if there is anybody into it,
well, you can actually download it from the
website directly.
From their website before it came out of Steam, because that's the way I got it, sort of thing. But I still couldn't get into it, which was a bit of a nightmare. But there was plenty on Team Deathmatch and multiplayer, but did not enjoy it. Did not enjoy it in the slightest. But
overly impressed.
What it did for me was it inspired me to start playing the Fear games all over again. So
that's always a good bet.
I did have them on Steam originally. I mean, I do have them physically on disc, but I do have them on Steam as well. When I bought, I think it was a Warner Brothers.
Physical media? What is this? The 20th century?
Hey, physical media is the best. All right. I'm a game collector, so come on, it's got to be.
This is true.
So yeah, I mean, I had them on Steam because I bought a Warner Brother Humble Bundle or something like that at some point.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That was like
Batman
about 18 months ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah, a good while ago. So started to play that, and Fear, the original Fear, was playing that at the moment. That game is scarier than I bloody remember. There was this scene basically where when you go to a ladder and you want to climb down the ladder, the character turns around to step down onto the ladder. Mm-hmm. So when I did that, the little girl in the dress, Alma, pops up in front of me, and I'm like, well, that's cool because I remembered that bit, so it didn't really scare me. But what I forgot was when you got to the bottom of the ladder and turn around, because he gets to the bottom and then he turns around again, was Paxton Vettel is behind you in ghost mode and starts fucking talking. So I'm climbing down the ladder like, no, I see you there, you little bitch, yeah, no, I turn around, oh my god, where did he get there?
And proceeded to fill your slacks, as I remember.
And it's recorded as well, so that will be coming up in a future episode on my channel.
so for that, please check that out on Outcast channel. I'm sure that is going to be a million hit video right there. But kind of moving it on a little bit, I didn't have much estimations for Fear Online. I thought it was kind of a half-baked idea. I do like free-to-play games. There are some that I do like, but yeah, I don't see a first-person shooter ever being anything that can ever work outside of pay-to-win, especially if they're going to charge for weapons and such. But
just slap the brand name on it, really.
Well, here's a name everybody knows. Let's shun it out there and.
But it works.
Run up the flagpole, see who salutes it type approach to game development by the looks of things. But
so what about yourself? What have you been...
About myself? Well, I have... Well, a little bit of Destiny news since I've got it running in the background. My buddies and I, some of us completed the raid for the first time on Monday night. We did it totally legit. No grenades and things falling off of cliffs were used by me personally. Possibly someone in our team might have done that.
Gee.
That's only because we tried it the legit way for several hours before the weekend, got our asses handed to us. Did come very, very close. But it was one of those kind of scenarios where just it sort of escaped. It was just one of those, it was never going to happen that night, and I think we had to come at that conclusion at like 2 a.m. in the morning when it was kind of a sensible time to kind of jack it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's raid run number 1 out the road. So quite happy about that.
If it's in the game, it's not cheating.
That's exactly right. You're just using the mechanics and the toolset that the game gives you. If the developers didn't want you to do it that way, well, it should be possible. Upcoming patch, no doubt, is going to fix that. Bungie have publicly commented, we don't want people pushing people off of cliffs.
Well, they nerfed the flipping some of the weapons you got from it as well, didn't they?
Well, yeah, there's been constant rebalancing. Like the Mythoclast has had its magazine capacity reduced.
Well, they're changing that again, though, they said, apparently.
Apparently so, but again, I think we said this in the last podcast about Destiny. Stop rebalancing single-player focused weapons based on feedback from PvP.
Yeah.
These weapons, by all means, nerf the hell out of them in the Crucible. If it's a case of this is breaking the game and these people who are running these weapons, because they're so hard to get, are beating everybody else, then yes, that's an unfair advantage. However, when you're playing in the damn story mode, it's not legendary, it's exotic gear. That's what you've spent
that's the point.
hours of your life grinding out, and when you finally got it, it's like, oh, this is so amazing. And then next week, too many people are dying and complaining about it, so we're going to tweak that. Tweak it for PvP, as I said, but leave the PvE characteristics alone. It's just numbers. It can't be that difficult to differentiate them.
Yeah, I mean, even add a second base. I mean, if they really want to do it, they can add like a second set of stats for PvP only on each weapon or on each bit of armor. And blah, blah, blah.
One wouldn't imagine it to be that difficult to add another table into the stat sheet. I was going to take a look at the kind of hotfix news for the last one, which was out on the 14th. A couple of ship fixes. Yeah, that was the nerf to the auto rifles. We kind of discussed that last week. Yeah, Vex Mythoclast, secret damage, pocket infinity, enhanced battery perk has been replaced with the speed reload perk. Woo! Yeah, not a great deal. We'll kind of patiently wait to see what the next patch is kind of coming out with that. But I personally taken a break from Destiny.
Same here.
For at least a week before I go back to it.
Well, I started playing the Evil Within instead.
Yes, the Evil Within.
And I got it on the cheap as well.
The Evil Silent Resident, as I like to call it.
Yeah, the Evil Silent Resident, something as well. I don't know what, but I mean, it's a good game. I completed it. 14 hours took me, and I wasn't like trying to fly through it or anything. I was looking around trying to get a little bit of secrets, bits, bobs, and things like that. Completed it. Still have no idea exactly to the full extent of what's going on. I probably understand about 60% of the game of what's going on. No idea after that.
Just precisely 60%, or we maybe
precisely 60%. The story anyway. The 60% of the story I understand. 40% of it, no idea.
Yeah, I'm just watching the trailer here, and there's a bit like what the quotes from the Telegraph. The comeback we all hoped it would be.
Comeback for what?
I thought this was a new franchise.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't it Shinji Mikami who's directing it? I mean, he is Resident Evil 4 Silent Hill fame, so.
Yeah, I mean, it could be his comeback, because it
Quite
does
possible,
remind you an awful lot of Resident Evil 4. I mean,
we're probably going to have to put age controls on this video. I've just seen a bit where somebody got eviscerated with a chainsaw, so. Not safe for children.
The children, what do they see these days? The things you can do in Minecraft, I mean to say. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it is just like, well, I wouldn't say it was just like Resident Evil 4, but it's going to remind you of Resident Evil 4 straight off the bat. It's kind of like Resident Evil 4 meets Silent Hill when it comes to character design as well. It's like the character designs and things like that, it totally meets Silent Hill. Absolutely not. I mean, you've got like one of the like head kind of monsters in it. It's got a box
I was going to say, it's not Pyramid Head anymore. It's Box Head.
It's rectangular box heads. And he's got
because it's a more complicated geometric shape. Putting all that next generation processing power to good use.
Yeah, we're going back to squares.
Because they're more complicated than triangles. But no, it's like, the question I've always got to ask, I'm not a huge fan of survival horror, just generally because I hate the concept of feeling like I can't fight my way out of a situation. It's never been something I've been overly comfortable. I must hunt for ammo. I have some ammo, but there's like 10 enemies and I've got 3 bullets. That doesn't create much tension for me. So I'm looking forward to playing Alien Isolation, which I know seems a bit of a hypocritical statement, but I have more invested in the Alien franchise. Big fan of the films. But for yourself, did you find the game scary? I think is the main question. Was it like relying on jump scares? Was there some genuine tension? I mean, how did it kind of suck you in?
I think, to be honest, I played it through my big TV, basically, and I didn't have headphones on or anything like that.
Were you playing with the lights out?
I wasn't either. Now, the original Resident Evil games scared the crap out of me, and Silent Hills and Fatal Frame / Project Zeros, and they all scared the crap out of me. But for years and years now, I haven't been scared at all in any games, and the Evil Within is definitely not an exception, because that for me, it wasn't scary in the slightest. Now, I know if I was sitting there with headphones on, there's some like scary ambient noises and There's a bit later on in the game as you get closer to the end where there's constantly whispering and heavy breathing happening, as if someone was standing
my
next to
late night
you.
phone calls.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Stop calling me, man. It's beyond obsession.
I just want to hear your voice. No, but
Listen to the channel. Click like, subscribe.
When it just visually it's gruesome,
Mm.
but there's not. For me, there isn't any jump scares, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but there isn't anything scary about it. Not even in the slightest. But maybe that's just due to the fact that, I'm a veteran of Resident Evils and basically the horror genre in general when it comes to gaming. That could just be me, but, you guys out there might think otherwise. It might be scary too, but for me, nah, it's more gruesome than it is scary.
Okay, fine. But entertaining. Did it make? Because these games are all about the replay value. So you've also completed your first run through. Is it going to bring you back in for more?
Well, I'm going to go back in definitely and play it again. You got a little bit of incentive to jump into your game plus. You get given some, like in most Resident Evil games, you get given something in the end, like an extra weapon, like a rocket launcher or
a chain gun or something like that.
Yeah, something like you get given a whole bunch of things like that. And there is like, if you want to save the game, you have to go into like a mirror, and this mirror will lead you to like a hospital bay as such, and you can save your progress there. And there's like a little morgue section, and in all the morgue drawers, you get keys within the game, and you can, once you get the key, you can open up a morgue drawer and you get like items and weaponry and blah 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 to help you throughout the game. Now you can't open all those in a one playthrough alone. So for me, definitely replay value. I'm thinking that there might be DLC in the future because there's a few elements of the story. Like I said, I only understand 60% of it, but I think they'll have to bring up some DLC.
That 60% thing.
Yeah, it's exactly 60%.
Exactly how much I understand of this game. No more, no less.
But there's some things about the female character in it. You've literally no idea who this woman is and whatever. And there's like instances where you get like pulled into crazy stuff that happens, and it's only you experiences that. So I'm thinking maybe in the future they might bring out DLC where you get to see as the other characters what happened during their crazy experiences, and maybe a little bit more about the female character because there's a lot to be explained with her. And I'm thinking there has to be more, and there's definitely going to be a second one. There's definitely going to be a second one.
I think that was always going to be a case of, well, we can't make a movie these days without it having to be at least a trilogy, and the last part of the trilogy being 2 movies. So it's no surprise that any new title that's coming out right about now.
It's like the Hunger Games, isn't it? Like, please stop.
Nothing about the Hunger Games. It ticks too many boxes for annoyance for me, and Jennifer Lawrence is right up there with that list. Absolutely ruined Mystique as far as I'm concerned. Sound off in the comment section below if you think I'm wrong. Please, I could use a flame war, but dear God in heaven.
Start something. Go on.
Yeah.
You can do it.
But
so that was Evil Within. How about yourself? You're playing Assetto Corsa, I believe, just now?
Indeed I have. And big news for anybody who... You'll notice on my channel I've got a playlist, Racing with Kahuna. Outcast, I'm a petrol head. Gasoline runs through these veins as much as hemoglobin, glucose, and
it's never a good thing.
Cholesterol. Yeah, it's
not for you. It tends to be.
It's probably unhealthy.
I still remember when you crashed that car.
I didn't crash
it. Beautiful car.
I didn't crash it. It was the curb. I don't even want to go into that. That's just too painful a memory. Thanks for bringing that one back up. There's nothing like a blowout of the tyre to ruin your day, and then your insurance company saying, "Oh, well, it's not the right type of car." Tesco Insurance, if you're watching this, screw you. Okay, but no. Moving on, Assetto Corsa, and I do have to laugh about this because one of these things, a video I'm putting together, is the fact that Assetto Corsa has now gone out of Steam Early Access onto full release. It's now version 1.0.4. It came out as 1.0.0. That won't mean anything to anybody who hasn't played it, but basically in the early access we were lacking a career mode. We now have that, which is basically just a succession of challenges, races, time attacks. I've only spent a couple of hours with it at the moment in time, But there have been some nice improvements. One that I've noticed is the frame rates are massively improved. I don't know what they've done with the engine, but I was averaging about 80 frames a second playing it on the early access. Now I'm hitting I don't have vertical sync on my machine. I've got a 144 hertz monitor for my main screen.
Mm-hmm.
And without frame limit on, it's hitting 155, so it's buttery smooth. Looks very, very nice. I mean, that's with ×4 anti-aliasing. All the features whacked up to full, with the possible exception of shadows. Very, very pretty game. Fantastic. It's just a fantastic feeling engine. I mean, I play with the wheel pedals and shifter, and if you're into your hardcore simulations, it's well worth a look. And it kind of saved the day for me, because one of my motes of disappointment is I've been behind Assetto Corsa since I saw Kunos released it on Steam. I was intrigued by what they were planning. They have, and although I have had thoughts that Kunos might have been struggling with it, because they originally promised that during early access, every 2 weeks there'd be a new content update, which would include new cars, new tracks. Over the last few months, I mean, I was looking on Steam, I did my original review of it back in November 2013. So this has been almost a year that it's been in early access, and now it's come out of that. But like I say, hats off to Kunos, despite what might have appeared to be some development issues in the background because the updates were slowing down and there wasn't so much coming out. They've actually got it out of early access and released the full product.
Well, it's good that you actually notice something in the full product, because you get a lot of games where you'll get it and you'll be like, oh, what's the difference here?
Exactly. It's also the fact is one of my biggest fears with early access on Steam has always been, and with Kickstarter as well, it's like, we'll have people sink their money into the development of the game. Now, this is self-published. I understand there's costs involved in that. These people who build the games need to get paid. But when you're paying for something up front, how do you get your money back if that game never gets finished?
Yeah.
I know there's always the writer saying, well, you're just buying into the development of it. There's nothing actually guaranteed, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But it is nice to see a developer come through on that. And I've got Kunos' website up. It's www.assettocorsa.net. Check it out. If you're on Steam, take a look at it. It's well priced, it's competitive, and right about now, this is bringing me into my bit of disappointment. Well, you clearly search around for something in the background there.
My headphones are dying, that's the only thing.
Which it's like, oh no, it's like, can I suddenly put the cable in without anybody noticing?
My cable. How much is it on Steam now?
You were too slow. Well, according to the website, it's €34.99, but on Steam.
On Steam.
Let's go to the store page. In pounds, shillings, and pence, it is currently not going to tell me because I already own it. That's really handy. $29.99. So you could do a lot worse. And like I said,
that's not too bad, yeah.
That saved the week for me because I was patiently waiting on another driving game coming out, which is Project Cars.
Oh yeah, maybe you're saying that, yeah.
And Slightly Mad Studios. Not impressed. I'm really not impressed. I know it was Namco Bandai that came out with the announcement, but basically on Saturday I was in town. I was with one of my friends. We took a walk in the game. We were killing some time, and I couldn't help but notice on the pre-order window that instead of saying like the 21st of November, as it was originally going to come out, it changed, or the 5th of November, whichever date it was, it had changed to the 21st of March.
Oh, that's a big jump.
Yeah, that's a big jump. And
that is a big jump.
The bit that was really, really disappointing, I've got some footage of it running in the background now. There's a little watermark in the bottom corner that this is all taken from in-game footage. I don't think there's anybody out there, regardless of how much you like or dislike driving games as a whole, it's hugely impressive looking. It is it's a stunning bit of technical achievement. Now, we know this is all PC graphics, but Bandai Namco came out and said, yeah, the reason we're holding the game up for 4 months is we want to give this new franchise the best chance possible, take it out of competition with everything else, and release it at the end of March.
Makes sense.
But
disappointing.
It is disappointing. It's like the only thing I can foresee is like, obviously we've got the new COD coming out in a couple of weeks. That is going to soak up a lot of cash in the pre-Christmas sales. We don't have a Battlefield this year, so we don't have those two facing off.
When does Hardline come out actually?
Oh, that is next year, first quarter next year. I'd have to look it up to be exact. It's not one I've had a great deal of interest in, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
but
no, not really.
I can't help but feel it's the online multiplayer with the cops and robbers aspect is kind of taking a little bit of Counter-Strike out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Bandai Namco, bit of a strange decision. I understand there's a lot of games that come out, but it's also the point of the year where there is the most game sales, primarily because we've gone through pretty much April to August without any AAA titles being released.
Yeah.
And yeah, was very, very disappointed in that, if I'm being honest. I was really looking forward to getting my hands on that one. And yeah, so like I say, disappointed with the fact that Namco have pulled that back. I'm sure obviously there are people who know more about the gaming market and sales thresholds than I do, and as a gamer I'm just a little bit hurt that the fact they would take it away from me when it was so close, with absolute minimal kind of preemption that something else was going to happen.
I could almost smell it. I could touch it.
I could taste it, man. It was there.
I could feel its breath.
It was right there.
Maybe that's too far. I'm sorry.
Speak to someone. Seriously. Hey, stop calling and speak to someone.
I miss your mask.
And I know, man, I miss yours too. But yeah, let's finish up on a little bit of controversy this week. This was one you brought to my attention not too long ago, and that's the wonderfully imaginatively titled Hatred.
Oh, it's so horrible.
It's a brilliant title. It's like I couldn't even bring myself to actually put the proper website for.
What is the problem with people?
Well,
honest to God.
The thing is like, you know, there were. I think it's been a case of, it's like, obviously, you know, I want to go into like overly deep themes and social, economical, and political discussions here, but I watched the trailer for this, and yeah, it's completely over the top. It's incredibly sinister. It's very dark, and basically it's like, you know, the worst trailer of the year revels in slaughtering innocents. I'm going, okay, right. Well, from a gaming standpoint, that's nothing new. We've had Carmageddon, we've had Postal, which this looks to be an absolute, utter carbon copy clone of, just with slightly shinier graphics.
Yeah.
I'm not but it's one of these things, it's like, there's no such thing as bad publicity, is there? Here we are talking about it, and we're next to nobody on the internet, so...
It's not clickbait just now.
Oh, it's sucking people in. I mean, I'm looking at an article on Polygon about it. I was watching the trailer, and yeah, it's a nasty bit of stuff. I think it's the fact that where the Postal character, I think where people have probably got the biggest issue with it is the opening monologue. You know, where the guy's talking about genocide and his crusade. It's using some really strong evocative language, which is going to hit some check boxes for some major people out there. You know, there's going to be politicians jumping up and down all over this. I guarantee you this will never get... This is a game that will never sell in Australia. The Australian government will just ban this outright. I mean, hell, you could barely get Borderlands and stuff in there without the highest level ratings. And Borderlands is a very cartoony looking game. Wolfenstein had to be heavily edited in Germany. It's like things like this. I mean,
they had to take out the Nazi symbolism and all that, didn't they?
Which is a bit ironic given the fact it's based in World War II, but you know, we'll overlook that.
The thing is, like, this type of game is nothing new, even in today's market. I mean, you got your Black Ops and all the other Call of Duties and your Battlefields, and literally every shooter that's out now is about you killing someone. I mean, what was it, Black Ops 1, where you had that optional mission of going to the airport and destroying everyone.
Modern Warfare 2 with the no Russian mission.
And it's just like, you know, yeah, at the time there was controversy about all that sort of thing, but I mean, now it's just getting to the...
Just led to more sales in the end, didn't it?
Really, at the end of the day, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, how many movies? I mean, Christ, what about that, the Rambo movie? The one where it's got the crazy, the latest Rambo movie.
Yeah,
He's all old
Rambo,
and like he's
it
fucking
was.
like twisted, and he's there's like.
I was going to say it's based in Cambodia.
And how many people died in that? I mean, Expendables movie wise, people die every 3 seconds in that.
Digital squibs. But no, I think the key point is that my own opinion is what the developer for this game have done is not. It may not seem particularly clever, but I guarantee you, in the places where this game is available, regardless of whether it's good, bad, indifferent, whatever, it's got a massive amount of free press. It's all over the place at the moment. There's a huge amount of infamy. People go, oh, it's a murder simulator. Oh, it's a genocide trainer. Oh, it's a emo's wet dream. I don't know exactly what other superlatives and categories they'd want to put this under, but it's going to sell.
It's going to sell big time, to be honest. But that's been with all of the games. You had like Postal and Manhunt and
Manhunt, yeah.
And one that was unreleased.
Ironically, Manhunt was actually a decent game, despite the set tone.
Manhunt 2 was pretty good. Thrill Kill, that was never released in the UK. I don't know if it was actually released anywhere, but I did play it.
It wasn't officially released. A little snippet from the vaults that actually became the Wu-Tang Clan game.
It did, yeah. They're still using the. I'm sure they're still using the engine for it, even in some of the, most recent type games.
Yeah.
So it gave birth to something later on, which was good. But that Thrill Kill game was pretty twisted, but it was fun.
It was a little bit. To be honest, it's like the Wu-Tang Clan game was a really bad beat 'em up, and Thrill Kill was no different. But just when you've got dominatrix and gimps beating each other to death with various implements of various voltages,
dominatrix, whoa.
Yeah, steady.
And then you get along to like Grand Theft Auto. Even like the originals, the top-down view, you're running over people, and even now,
nobody bats an eyelid about GTA now.
That's the thing, though. I mean, should everyone be that surprised that what they're forgetting is it's completely fictional. It's not actually real people it's not even a recording. It's completely different from a movie. It's completely removed.
But I think we're actually getting into some really deep subject matter there. It's like you could make the argument that it's like, the books could easily, books can be equally as vivid. Movies can be gruesome. Games can be certainly gruesome. The only thing I've got to say about it is, it's a third-person isometric 3D shooter with somebody who's clearly got issues as the main protagonist, but what main protagonist doesn't. I think it has been marketed incredibly cynically, but for a game that would not stand out on its own merits, because to be honest, there's a little game on Steam right now called Door Kickers. I'll throw that little one a little bone. It's on my wish list at the moment. Looks pretty damn awesome. Just going to bring that one up. Takes me to the store page. And yeah, it's like, this is just a little sort of Rainbow Six kind of tactical game.
Okay.
And it's all top down. And it's, you know what? I don't see any difference between the mechanics of Hatred versus this. It's all about running around shooting people. Now, granted, you're counter-terrorists, you're shooting people who've got hostages. That's fine. It's got a little bit of fake gore and stuff like that. But I don't think Hatred, if it tried to sell itself as a simulation, would get any traction. And I think, unfortunately, the developers have realized, right, what can we do that will get as much traction in the press and get as people buying the game? And that's what I think the only thing Hatred, Hunted, whatever it's called, is really got that stands it out. Aside from that, it just looks a generic shooter.
Yeah, it's literally all it is at the end of the day. It's nothing new, guys. Nothing new.
We've all been there before. But anyway, I think that brings us to the sort of end of what we've got to speak about this week. Outcast, I'd like to take, again, man, thanks for coming on the channel. It's great having you on board.
No problem. You know me, I could talk for hours.
We could. We could literally, but
could.
I haven't got the bandwidth to upload videos of those lengths.
It's hard enough uploading videos as it is, never mind.
Exactly. But we will keep coming up with more content. Please swing over to Outcast channel, check out some of his Let's Play footage. I know you've got some stuff up, and you've got some new footage of The Evil Within. So if you want to check that one out, new release, give it a whirl. I'll have some fresher content coming soon. If you like what we're doing with the podcast, please sound off in the comments below. Give us a like, subscribe to the channel. Every little bit helps. Look forward to hearing a little bit of feedback more from the community going forward. But again, Outcast, thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Appreciate it, man. And this will be the two of us, Outcast and Kahuna, signing off until next week. Thanks again. Bye.
Yeah.